Hey, it's Terry Gorry, and this is the Irish Law and Small Business podcast. I saw a case reported there this week or last week involving a hair salon. I think it was a hair salon, and a barber was paid, or sacked rather. So the barber was sacked for what was alleged to have made sexist comments. So the barber claimed, or the salon owner claimed, that the barber in question, amongst other things, would not sweep up, as he viewed this as a woman's job. So, amongst other things, the barber had made other remarks as well, apparently, according to the employer. Other sexist comments. The employer's position was that the worker was an excellent barber, but became very difficult, and the salon owner accused the complainant of absenteeism, a lack of punctuality, playing excessively loud music, and making anti-Muslim and anti-LGBT comments. The employer said informal warnings were given to the worker before his dismissal in August 2022, but they had no effect. The salon, or the barber, had only started work at the salon the previous March. Therefore, he didn't have the 12 months, the required service, to bring a claim under the Unfair Dismissals Act. He brought a complaint to the WRC under the Industrial Relations Act 1967. And that is essentially a trade dispute. So you don't have the required service for unfair dismissal, the 12 months. He brings it under the Industrial Relations Act 1967. The adjudicator found in favour of the sacked barber, and made a recommendation, and this is absolutely key, made a recommendation that he be paid €750. The recommendation, as opposed to a determination or a decision, is critically important, because under the Industrial Relations Act 1967, the employer, I thought that act was actually 1969, I think that's a mistake in the Irish Times, I don't think it's 1967, I think it's 1969. But anyway, that recommendation is legally useless. It is legally unenforceable. If the employer chooses to ignore it, he can do so. And if he chooses to ignore it, there's very little the employee can do. So that's a tip for employers and employees. It's all very well going to the WRC under the Industrial Relations Act, I think 1969, not 1967, but regardless, if you go to the WRC with a trade dispute under the Industrial Relations Act, then you're going to end up with a recommendation which is as useful as a chocolate teapot. That is, it is legally unenforceable. That's from a legal perspective. You might be able to try and squeeze or twist the employer's arm by mounting some sort of a picket outside saying that you've got this decision in your favour and these appalling, wretched employers won't pay, etc., etc. And you might get some sympathy from the general public, or you might get work colleagues, to support you and not pass the picket perhaps. But the only way you can put the squeeze on an employer in those circumstances is from an industrial relations or this perspective rather than from a legal perspective, because from a legal perspective this recommendation is only a recommendation, and if the employer chooses to ignore it, there is practically nothing the employee can do. Hope you find this video useful. Thanks.